Okay, so the next band is going to be my number two favorite band, Slipknot. And just like before, even if an album ranks really low, it doesn't make it bad to me. It just means it'll be my least favorite. And this list may or may not be controversial to some people. But with that being said, let's get right into this. Number 7, All Hope Is Gone. Alright, the reason why this is ranked really low is because this album has okay production, and it is really heavy in places. However, outside of the singles, Sulfur, Psychosocial, and Dead Memories, and Snuff, which are definitely the highlights, this album has just a lot of filler that is a little forgettable, so it's a least favorite of mine. Number 6, Slipknot. Now, this may be the most controversial pick, but here's why it ranks lower for me. Well, while it doesn't have as much filler as All Hope Is Gone and has classic hits such as Sick, Eyeless, Wait and Bleed, Surfacing, Spit It Out, among many more. The production has not aged the greatest and seems all over the place and not really structured too well. But it is their debut album, and without it, we wouldn't have this band. So it does rank a bit higher for that. So I'm gonna say it's an okay album. Number 5, Point 5, The Gray Chapter. So this album didn't have the greatest reception when it released. However, I think it's a little underrated. And sure, while it's not the best album of all time, I mean, it could have used a bit better mixing. At the same time, it's not the worst thing ever, and there's some good songs on here, like Sarcastrophe, AOV, The Devil and I, Skeptic, Nomadic, The One Who Kills the Least, Custer, The Negative One, and If Rain Is What You Want, so I would say it's a decent record. Number 4, Volume 3, The Subliminal Verses. Okay, yet another divisive album at release, but I also think is underrated. And funny enough, this album actually came out the year I was born, so it gets some points for that alone. But anyways, this album, I will say, doesn't have the greatest production, as half the time it sounds like the songs are playing through a blown out speaker. And it's not my favorite vocal performance from Corey. However, the tracks themselves definitely carry this album, like Prelude 3.0, The Blister Exists, 3-0, Duality, Opium of the People, Vermilion Part 1 and 2, Pulse of the Maggots, and Before I Forget. And that's just some. Not to mention, there's some good riffs on here. So, overall, I'm gonna say it's another decent album. Number 3, The End So Far. Honestly, I don't get the amount of hate for this one. I mean, I'm not gonna pretend like it's the best thing ever made, but it's really not that bad. Now, yes, Adderall as the first track I don't agree with, especially since it's a really soft song. However, every other track on this album is actually kinda good, like the Dying song, Time to Sing, the Chapeltown Rag, Yen, High Mind, Warranty, Medicine for the Dead, Acidic, Heirloom, Desaad, and Finale. The production is also pretty good sounding, and some of these riffs are pretty good as well. So, I would say it's a good album. Number 2, We Are Not Your Kind. Alright, so this record, like Korn's The Nothing, came out at the perfect time for me, because it was also around the time I started to become a fan of this band, and metal in general. But why I like this one a lot is because the production is pretty good, but not only that, the riffs and vocals are the best for a modern Slipknot record. And some of the songs on here are so good. Like Unsainted, Birth of the Cruel, Nero Forte, Critical Darling, Red Flag, Spiders, Orphan, Not Long for This World, and Solway Firth. So, in my opinion, a pretty good album. Number 1, Iowa. So, I'm sure this is a lot of people's number 1 pick, and for good reason, because this thing is heavy as fuck. No joke. The production is loud and distorted, but in a good way, and Corey's voice on this record is probably his most angry, which definitely complements the music. And the riffs and guitar tone are just right on this thing. The songs are also great, such as People Equals Shit, Disaster Piece, My Plague, Everything Ends, The Heretic Anthem, Left Behind, The Shape, and I Am Hated. That's only some. So I would absolutely say this is a really good album and their best one overall. And that is where the ranking ends. So, this was a shorter list, because this band only has 7 albums as of the making of this video, and hopefully there will be an 8th sooner rather than later. But that is gonna do it for today, and if you have any thoughts on this list, or you have your own ranking, be sure and put it in the comments below, and as always, I will see you all next time.